describe my deal
You do this
to
at
you.
every debate. Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
First of all, Chris Christie also doesn't know what provinces in eastern Ukraine he actually wants us to fight for. So do everybody a favor. Just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the hell out of this race. She said that I have a woman problem. Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die so she can buy a bigger house.
It's another slap fest. Welcome back to One and Done. It's your boy George, and we are covering the fourth GOP debate. Plenty of fireworks throughout this debate. Vake and Ron double team Nikki, and Krispy Kreme simps and comes to her rescue. Vake tells Krispy Kreme, hey, go make a sandwich, shut up and get out of here. We're going to get into the intro now. Each of these candidates were asked reasonably tough questions, and I thought Megyn Kelly actually did a great job with this debate. She started everything off on the right foot, and the debate was well handled and controlled. We're going to start with Vake's opening question and watch it as he handles this like a champ. Without delay, let's roll the tape.
For months, you campaigned as a unifier. Then you stood up at the first debate and attacked all of your competitors as bought and paid for. The second debate, you changed your tune, saying, these are good people on this stage, admitting you can come across as a bit of a know-it-all and rejecting the practice of personal insults. By debate number 3, you called Nikki Haley corrupt, accused Ron DeSantis of wearing high heels, and told Ambassador Haley she should keep a closer eye on her daughter. Can you see how this has led some to conclude you are not, in fact, a unifier, and to question your authenticity?
Now, what is a unifier? Is a unifier someone that tells you what you want to hear so they can win you over? Or is a unifier someone that tells you what you need to hear so we can come together and get on with the job? If that's your definition, well then, he is definitely a unifier. You need a leader that's going to get everybody on board, and Vake is definitely that. Now, a lot of people get triggered by not what he says, but the way he says it. As Ben Shapiro says, facts don't give a about your feelings. And I would rather be told about the hurdles we have ahead and be able to come together and deal with them rather than being told some very beautiful little story to make me feel better and then get blown away by the problems we have.
Megyn, I think there's a time and place for everything. We need somebody in the White House who absolutely is going to be a fighter when it counts. And I did say that there were some good people on that stage in that third debate. Doug Burgum was on that stage at that time, and I'll say that jokingly. Ron DeSantis is a good person, too. I want to go back, though, to Nikki Haley's comment from earlier that she is somehow not responding to the will of these donors. Nikki, you were bankrupt when you left the UN. After you left the UN, you became a military contractor. You actually started joining service on the board of Boeing, whose back you scratched for a very long time, and then gave foreign multinational speeches like Hillary Clinton is, and now you're a multimillionaire. That math does not add up. It adds up to the fact that you are corrupt.
So Vake calls Nikki out for bending the knee to the donors. He explains how she went from being broke to being rich and woke. Now watch Nikki's smile get wiped from her face, and if you watch closely, you can see her soul leaving through her eyes. It's incredible. She is getting destroyed.
And when I said they were bought and paid for, I meant the Republican establishment, not the Democratic establishment. Now you have Reid Hoffman, the person who's effectively George Soros Jr., funding lawsuits across this country against Donald Trump to keep him off the ballot, funding left-wing causes. We discovered this week that he is one of Nikki Haley's largest supporters. Larry Fink, the king of the woke industrial complex, the ESG movement, the CEO of BlackRock, the most powerful company in the world, now supporting Nikki Haley. And to say that doesn't affect her is false, because it's after that meeting later that day that she says that every American needs to be doxxed by having their ID, their government-issued ID, tied to what they say on the internet. So I think that this is far more corrupt than I even imagined when I entered politics. But I will say this. It is going to take a leader from the outside, with fresh legs, from the next generation to unite this country. Not the broken politicians who are puppets of the puppet masters, but the actual people in this country. Thomas Jefferson was 33 when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. I think it's going to take somebody whose best days in life are still ahead to see a country whose best days are ahead of itself. And I think I can reach that next generation better than anybody else in this race.
Thank you.
Once again, Vake just taking absolute control. These debates are really it's a Vake show. Now, you'll watch later, the liberal media are going to be besides themselves. They're going to say, Nikki swept the floor, blah, blah, blah. She's a strong, independent woman. Nikki almost looked like she was about to burst into tears. Now, let's give Vake credit because he is going to show you that he's even-handed. He's got some slaps for Nikki. He's got some slaps for Krispy Kreme. Doesn't matter if you're XX chromosome or XY chromosome. You all get equal treatment when it comes from Vake. Now, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Let's get back into the video.
So, foreign policy experience is not the same as foreign policy wisdom. I want everybody at home to note that I was the first person to say we need a reasonable peace deal in Ukraine. Now, a lot of the neocons are quietly coming along to that position, with the exceptions of Nikki Haley and Joe Biden, who still support this, what I believe is pointless war in Ukraine. And I think those with foreign policy experience, one thing that Joe Biden and Nikki Haley have in common is that neither of them could even state for you 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine that they want to send our troops to actually fight for. Look at that. This is what I want people to understand. These people have, she has no idea what the hell the names of those provinces are, but she wants to send our sons and daughters and our troops and our military equipment to go fight it. So reject this myth that they've been selling you, that somebody had a cup of coffee stint at the UN and then makes $8 million after, has real foreign policy experience. It takes an outsider to see this through. Look at the blank expression. She doesn't know the names of the provinces that she wants to actually fight for. And there's her puppet masters right there, the donors right there that are playing her like the puppet master.
You do this at every debate.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. Okay? You say this. You do this. You do this at every debate. You go out on the stump and you say something. All of us see it on video. We confront you out on the debate stage. You say you didn't say it, and then you back away. And I want to say
exactly what I said, Chris.
I'm not done yet.
Well, this
now
is
look.
This is nonsense. This man is spewing. This man is spewing nonsense.
Let me tell you something. This is the fourth debate. The fourth debate that you would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America. So shut up for a little while.
I'm going to respond to that.
I want to say
your version of
We're going to let you respond to that. We're going to let you respond to that.
I'll take
Let him
that.
finish.
We're now 25 minutes into this debate, and he has insulted Nikki Haley's basic intelligence. Not her positions, her basic intelligence. She doesn't know regions. She wouldn't be able to find something on a map that his 3-year-old could find. Look, if you want to disagree on issues, that's fine. And Nikki and I disagree on some issues. But I'll tell you this, I've known her for 12 years, which is longer than he's even started to vote in a Republican primary.
Thanks, Chris.
And while we disagree about some issues and we disagree about who should be president of the United States, what we don't disagree on is this is a smart, accomplished woman, and you should stop insulting her.
So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take several times over.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. First of all, Krispy Kreme needs to stop simping. It looks weak. Okay? If Nikki is an independent, strong woman, let her stand as an independent, strong woman. Okay, does she need your help, Chris? Because if she needs your help, she shouldn't be on that platform. She shouldn't be on that stage. She shouldn't be at that lectern. She should not be anywhere near the White House. If she can't handle this stage, how the hell is she going to handle the responsibility of being the leader of the White House? Now, just like Gavin Newsom, I don't think she should be anywhere near the White House. I wouldn't want her anywhere near that red button. Forget about it. Now, the other thing with Krispy Kreme, he doesn't have any substance to his argument. He doesn't argue about policies. He argues about Donald Trump, how terrible Donald Trump is. He argues how terrible Vake is. He even described him as ChatGPT, which that was quite funny. But he's not there to actually add any serious value, and that's why his poll numbers have not changed at all. At least Vake talks about substance. Everything he talks about has substance. It may not be talking points that politicians generally will talk about in that much detail. It's not what people are used to hearing. But that is the beautiful, refreshing thing about Vake. That's why there is a rise of populist politicians in Europe, South America now. And that's why people love Trump. Because he's not one of these neocons. Let's reflect, let's look back. No wars under Trump. Got rid of ISIS in 6 months. He's a businessman. He knows that all these leaders from all these other countries What they want is what's best for their country. That's one thing they can agree on. Yes, you want what's best for your country. I want what's best for my country. Now let's make a deal. The art of the deal. I think he wrote a book about it. Krispy Kreme has no substance, and I think he's going to get manhandled by Vake. So let's watch it.
Just learn something from Chris Christie. We learned three things. We learned three things right there. First of all, Chris Christie also doesn't know what provinces in eastern Ukraine he actually wants us to fight for. Chris, your version of foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York. Yeah. So do everybody a favor. Just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the hell out of this race. When it comes to Nikki, I think if you're going to actually send your sons and daughters to go die in somebody else's war, you better, excuse me, Chris, I'm speaking, and I'm not done yet.
I haven't heard a time when you aren't
and we're going to be
speaking.
done. So listen up to this. If these people want to send your sons and daughters to go die in Ukraine, they've been arguing for it for a year. $200 billion of our taxpayer money sent over. Neither of them could even name for you the provinces that they actually want to protect. And this is the people who have been touting their so-called foreign policy experience. It is intellectual fraud. These people are lying to you, the same people who told you about weapons and mass destruction in Iraq to justify that invasion didn't know the first thing about it, yet they sent thousands of our sons and daughters to go die. The same people who told you the same in Afghanistan, where the Taliban is still in charge 20 years later. $7 trillion of our national debt due to these toxic neocons. You can put lipstick on a Dick Cheney, it is still a fascist neocon.
See, this is what I don't understand. Why do people vote for people that love wars? Do they get caught up in emotion? What is it? They don't like facts? It's just bizarre to me that people would vote these neocons in. It's bizarre. Now, I believe mainstream media, the leftist liberal media, they have a big role to play in this, getting up people all emotional, us against them mentality. That's the great thing at the moment where we still have some free speech. And we can dive into detail on these long-form podcasts and things like that, where we can actually see details. And the people we see on these long-form podcasts are people like Vake, Ron DeSantis, that don't mind digging deep into the detail. And over a 2-hour period or 1 hour period, they can nut out all of these issues. Whereas on the leftist liberal media, they come on and they just want sound bites. They interview people in 5 minutes on extremely complex issues and expect an answer. They don't really expect the answer. They're looking for got you moments. They're looking for angles that they can spin to the general public to justify things like wars, to get them all emotional and heated. And the liberal media will argue that Vake has no substance to his arguments. That is an out-and-out lie. They just don't like what they hear from him because he operates from logic and facts. Now, Vake's not done with Nikki yet. Here's a little bit of friendly fire between the two American Indians.
Are you questioning Nikki Haley's Christian convictions? And why has your campaign made a point of referring to Ambassador Haley by her given first name, Nimarata, even though she has gone by Nikki for her whole life?
Well, my whole deal is if Nikki Haley, of all people, should know how to pronounce my name correctly, the rest of the news media can learn it. My deal is I'll call her Nikki when she can say my own name right. That's our little fun side bet there. Here's what I will say is deeper. I don't question her faith, but I question her authenticity. And I think that's deeper here. We were just talking about the trans issue. This is a symptom of a deeper cancer in American life, identity politics. This new religion that says your race, your gender, and your sexuality are your identity. It is anti-American. It is meritocratic, it's anti-meritocratic, and it is dividing this country to a breaking point. And I've spoken about this to the left. My books are all about this. I've preached this to the left, but it's even worse when Republicans try to play the same game. We're talking about that trans issue. And Nikki Haley's campaign launch video sounded like a woke Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light ad talking about how she would kick in heels. At the first debate, she said that only a woman can get this job done. That's what she said. After the third debate, when I criticized Ronna McDaniel after 5 failures.
I mean, let me know in the comments. To me, she looks absolutely defeated. She looks like a little child lost in the woods, helpless. She looks absolutely done here. I mean, I'm sure the liberal media are going to, feel sorry for her. But we can't. We can't feel sorry for her because if she's not fit for the job, she's not fit for the job. But man, her soul is completely drained.
Years of leadership of this party and criticized Nikki for her corrupt foreign dealings as a military contractor. She said that I have a woman problem. Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And I think that that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die so she can buy a bigger house. This is the problem. Using identity politics more effectively than Kamala Harris is a form of intellectual fraud. And it actually needs to end. There's our donor puppet masters wielding their puppet right up here tonight. This is how this game is played.
Wow. Look at Ron DeSantis. He's sort of standing there as if to say, oh, Vivek, I'm just going to sit back here. Man, you're dishing out the heat. I don't need to do anything. Ron is absolutely having a blast with this because he can just deliver his messages and Vivek's going in for the kill. Vivek's savage. He's ruthless. And once again, Nikki is done. She's toast.
The puppet masters put up their puppet, and I reject the use of identity politics in this party. It has been a cancer coming from the left, and I'm sick and tired of the double standards the people of this country are too. Having two X chromosomes does not immunize you from criticism.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Governor Haley, would you like to respond?
No. It's not worth my time to respond to him.
You have been using identity politics at every step. She knows it's true, and that's why she's actually hiding from it.
Sir, we're not going to give you a response
Game
to the
over.
question that was...
Look, I'll say it again. I'm sure Nikki absolutely regrets taking Vivek on in that second debate because she's been getting smashed from left and right all over the place. She's out of her depth. She's used to taking that money, kowtowing to the donors without too much pushback. She's absolutely getting pushback. She's not only getting pushback, she's getting barbecued and fried. Don't worry, she's not the only one getting caught up in her lies. Let's watch as Krispy Kreme gets cooked on the rotisserie.
When you were governor in 2017, you signed a law that required new guidelines for schools dealing with transgender students. Those guidelines required schools to accept a child's preferred gender identity, even if the minor's parents objected.
Not true.
And it said that there is no duty for schools to notify parents if their son or daughter changes their gender identity, allowing this serious issue to remain a secret between the school and a child. How is any of that pro-parental rights?
By the way, that's simply not true.
You do not have the right to abuse your kids. This is cutting off their genitals. This is mutilating these minors. These are irreversible procedures, and this is something that other countries in Europe, like Sweden, once they started doing it, they saw it did incalculable damage. They've shut it down. I signed legislation in Florida banning the mutilation of minors because it is wrong.
I think the North Star here is transgenderism is a mental health disorder. We don't let you smoke a cigarette by the age of 18. We don't let you have an addictive drink of alcohol by the age of 21. And I just challenge Ron DeSantis to go one step further and support what I think is clearly within the authority to do using federal funds, just like Reagan did in '84, for the Highway Act that said the minimum drinking age needs to be 21. We can do the same thing when it comes to banning genital mutilation or chemical castration.
Okay.
I know Ron's been unclear about that on the federal
Haley.
level. I'm crystal clear. That's where I stand.
Ron has continued to lie because he's losing.
No, it's not a lie.
You are lying.
You said it on tape.
So first of all, I will say that when I was governor, 10 years ago, when the bathroom situation came up, we had maybe a handful of kids that were dealing with an issue. And I said, we don't need to bring government into this, but boys go into boys' bathrooms, girls go into girls' bathrooms, and if anyone else has an issue, they use a private bathroom. Now, 10 years later, we see that this issue has exploded.
I signed the bill. I protected the girls.
Do you know South Carolinians?
She did not do it.
Do you know South Carolinians? Because South Carolinians...
So Krispy Kreme got caught out in his lies again there. And I think Vivek's hit that issue right on the head. Simple, clear, and precise. So that's GOP debate number 4. Okay, so let's break down what happened in this debate. Now, Krispy Kreme, he's not adding any value to the debate at all. He has no substance, arguments, policies. He's trying to get elected on the hatred of Trump derangement syndrome. Enough already. Nikki Haley is a corrupt neocon. I'm sure she was a great governor at the time, but her financial situation changed and now she's bought and paid for. Now, Ron DeSantis had a great performance in this debate. I think he had the confidence coming after he dragged Gavin Newsom through the coals last week. So tonight he was a bit more of a bulldog. He absolutely went after Nikki Haley, and you could just see in his body language he just looked a lot more confident. Now once again, Vake to me is the winner. As usual, he jumped straight out of the gate. He didn't hold back. One issue after the other, pointing out the problems and the solutions, backing up his accusations with facts. Now some people say that Vake, he's like a know-it-all. He's too smart for his own good. I like the transparency. I like the way that he challenges everyone. What do you guys think? Who do you think won? Who got done? And what do you think about Vake's performance? Do you think he should drop out as well? Well, actually, who do you think should drop out? Who should we be left with? We know the elephant in the room is Donald Trump, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to move the needle there. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our videos, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.